So I say you youngsters got a mess, clean up. One of the biggest jobs you have, I do not advocate destroying the capitalistic system, but I say to you young folks, you better work like hell to beat the capitalists into their rightful position, and that is behind the United States Constitution and not in front of it. Because as long as the capitalists are in front of the United States Constitution, that means in America we will always put emphasis on property rights and there will be no emphasis on human rights. And this country is not controlled by the United States Constitution. This country do not function under the democratic process. This country is controlled and governed by the capitalists. That's why last year Americans came out and peacefully protested and peacefully assembled, peacefully petitioned for strong gun legislation, and the capitalists that manufactured the guns saw to it you didn't get a strong gun legislation. In a nation so insane, we demand that you get a prescription to get your medicine, but you don't need a prescription to get your gun. Hell, I can't hit you in the head with my pills and kill you, nor can I injure you by throwing my cough syrup on you. I'm not saying Americans shouldn't have guns. The Constitution says all Americans have a right to bear arms. But Americans got a right to get well, too. And if this country's going to make me go through some changes to get my medicine, then damn it, it should make me go through some changes to get my gun. So I say you youngsters got a big job of moving the capitalists behind the United States Constitution. The only way you're going to do that is by directing all your grievances to the capitalists. Don't be no damn fool run down the street marching under the Constitution. They don't give a damn about the Constitution. The only reason they care about the flag is because they make it. Yeah, you let them pass a law and say from here on in the flag's going to be made by the blind Jewish welfare mothers, and see how many people wouldn't be flying flags next 4th of July. Yeah, you see how many people get uptight over that flag. So you better check out this system real quick. We living in a country today that tell you 18-year-old boys, at 18 years old, you're old enough to go to war and die, but you're not old enough to vote. Or any of you that go along with that, maybe death is what you need. And I meet so many young folks say, if I got to go to war and die at 18, I want the right to vote at 18. Don't be no damn fool. If you got to die at 18, you better fight to get the right to vote at 17. Because as groovy as you young kids are today, if you get the right to vote at 17, probably won't be no wars when you get 18. Yeah, you got a big job of moving the capitalists behind the United States Constitution. And how do you do that? Address all your grievances to the capitalists. You want the right to vote? At 17 years old, you can get that right. All you got to do is organize across the country. That's the first thing you got to do is organize. You want to change these colleges' administration? Do it the easy way. Don't take over the administration building. Organize young folks across this country. And then next September say, if we don't get all these reforms in the educational institutions, we're going to boycott eating meat 5 days a week. What do you think the packing house would do? What do you think them multi-millionaire right-wing cattle growers from Texas would do? Y'all talking about not eating no meat for 5 days out the week? Man, them right-wingers are flying to town, kick the doors off these president's office. Come here, boy, we want to talk to you. You want the right to vote at 17 years old? You can get that. Don't be down here marching, candle flags, singing all them old tunes. You want the right to vote at 17 years old, you organize across this country. And after you get young folks organized, you go to the record industry. And you tell them if they don't get to Washington, D.C. and lobby and within 2 months' time get a bill pushed through that says 17-year-olds can vote, you're going to call for a nationwide boycott of buying photograph records for 2 years. What do you think would happen? Yeah, before they sit back and let you wipe out a multi-billion-dollar-a-year industry, they'll let 16-year-olds vote. Because you see, all these old fools, they don't buy no records. And if it is, it's one of them old Dirksen albums. So I say you got a big job of moving the capitalists behind the United States Constitution. Because the capitalists have demonstrated time and time again they have a passionate disrespect for human rights. Well, the cigarette industry is a good example of it. They're fighting the federal communication system like hell so they can keep their ads on television and radio. They don't even have respect for your little brothers and sisters. They don't even have respect for your unborn babies that watches those ads, and they don't see the danger, they just see the glamour. Yeah, turn on television, here cat rolling across with a horse. Get up, and he slows up, whoa, baby, and pulls out his pack of cigarettes. And I always likes to let me a Marlboro. And what's the little kid gonna do? He know damn good and well he can't never get him a horse, but he know he get him a Marlboro one day. Wouldn't be bad if they had an honest cigarette commercial, show that old cowboy riding through the cemetery and stop, pull out his cigarettes and say, this is Marlboro country. Ain't nothing wrong with cigarettes being on the market. You youngsters are old enough to know damn good and well cigarettes cause cancer, and you got a right to smoke them if you want to. You got a right to put a pistol to your head and pull it if you want to. But that's you. I think you should fight to protect these young kids. That if they knew cigarettes cause cancer at that age, they might develop a strange dislike for them. And so you cigarette smokers that don't give a damn about your chest, you still should protect the kids. And after you finish your next pack of cigarettes, it would be mighty groovy if you put that empty pack in the envelope and mailed it into the cigarette industry and ask your friends to do the same thing and put a little note in there and tell them if they insist on advertising on television and radio where your little brothers and sisters and the young kids can see it, you considering boycotting cigarettes. You'd be surprised how quick they decide to take their hands off. You got a job of putting the capitalists behind the United States Constitution. And then for the first time, we'll put emphasis on human rights. The fact that we emphasize property rights is the reason Mayor Daley of Chicago made that statement he made, shoot all looters to kill. Never said shoot murderers to kill, never said shoot dope pushers to kill. You know why? Because murderers and dope pushers deal with the human right, looters deal with property. And to be honest with you, when Mayor Daley made that statement pertaining to shooting all looters to kill, it's the first time I ever agreed with him. Yeah, I hurried up and sent him a telegram. I said, dear fool, your statement pertaining to shooting all looters to kill, I agree with wholeheartedly. If you make one stipulation, let's first make it retroactive and let's first put the gun in the Indian's hand. Yeah, you youngsters got a big job. Keep your eyes open 24 hours a day and watch everything, especially all us old fools. And particularly watch your mom and dad and ask them a lot of questions because you got to sleep with them. Oh yeah, you know somebody came by your house today and knocked on the door. Mother, father said, who is it? A government inspector. Say, what do you want? Say, we come by to get your cat or your dog. Say, what? Say, yeah, we just got a bill pushed through. We're sending pets to Vietnam. I don't have to tell you how much hell your mom and daddy would raise somebody try to send that dog to Vietnam. It'd be a shootout on the front lawn. It sounds funny to you, but that's mighty scary when you got to realize you living in a country today where your mom and daddy would raise more hell over the dog going to Vietnam than they'd raise over you going to Vietnam. Yeah, you got a job on your hand. Yeah, maybe if your mother and daddy stop trying to make money for a few minutes and listen to what you young kids are talking about, maybe they would understand you for a change. But they're so busy making money,